everyone! Welcome to another installment into the TeruShouEnnoTana storyline, because I don't have anything written currently. Yeah, but hey, it was time to move this story forward, so here we go. As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who still watch my videos. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the uploads, and let's get into it, shall we? As much as he enjoyed summer and the heat, Terushima had to admit he went a little overboard the last time. Getting a heat stroke was far from his idea of a well-spent afternoon, especially since he bothered Enoshita with it and scared Daisho into apologizing for something that wasn't his fault yet again. That one stunk probably the most, considering he at least got some cuddles and kisses from Enoshita and Tanaka for his suffering. Hence why he spent the whole next day trying to think of some activity they could turn into a date. It had been far too long since they all went out together, not counting the disaster of a dinner before Tanaka sent his so-called parents to hell, and even longer since their last date. And while he was definitely looking forward to that vacation they were planning, he wanted to spend some quality time with his beloveds. But what to do? Everyone has to go to work over the weeks, and they can't be too exhausted. Come on, think. He mulled it over and over while his hands automatically worked on preparing a simple snack for him and Tanaka, coming out empty-handed. It had to be fun for everyone, otherwise it would be a waste of time that was already precious. Not too far for the same reason. And have an opening for some shenanigans, because otherwise what was the point? How is this so hard all of a sudden? I've never had an issue to think of something before. Although before was a long time ago, before they even met Suguru. What are you frowning about so much? He startled when arms wrapped around his waist from behind, the warm breath ghosting over his skin and soft vibrations of Tanaka's voice making him shiver. I'm trying to think of something to do, but nothing comes to mind. Have you tried consulting the internet? But it's so embarrassing. Like admitting I can't come up with something fun myself. Tanaka chuckled, the sound vibrating deep within Terushima's core. For a moment, he wondered if he had ever told Tanaka he loved his laugh, and his voice, and hugs. Probably not. Not out loud, at least. What would make you happy? Humming, Tanaka paused for a beat and then tilted his head. Me? Yeah. I know we usually settle for something Suguru likes so it doesn't stress him out, but what would you like to do? I don't know. He laid his chin on Terushima's shoulder. A soft smile settled on his lips. All I need is to be with you three. That makes me happy. That's sweet, but not very helpful. Despite his words, he felt his cheeks warming up and butterflies shortly flutter in his stomach, as if he was still a teenager who just got confessed to by his crush. Although, given how many years they've been together already, he supposed he was allowed some butterflies when his boyfriends were so perfect. A gentle nudge into his side turned his attention back to Tanaka. Just browse the web. It's not embarrassing to look up ideas. Terushima sighed, but deep down he knew Tanaka was right. And so he leaned back into his boyfriend's embrace, earning a content hum and light kisses peppered along the line of his neck until the snacks were done. So, what exactly is this place? Grinning, Terushima resisted the urge to look over his shoulder, and instead kept his eyes on the last bit of road ahead of them before they were to enter the parking lot. Surprisingly enough, no one protested when he came up with the idea of going on a date together, even though he kept the location a secret. True, Enoshita gave him a raised eyebrow, but other than that, he looked invested and curious, meaning he already won half the battle. Take a look. The sign is a giveaway. Adventures mini-golf? Yep, the first one in the city. Enoshita snorted a short laugh. Okay, that's definitely the first time. A little more nervous now, Terushima waited for some protests or words of mockery perhaps, but it didn't seem like Enoshita minded his choice of activity in the end. Tanaka beamed the moment he heard the word minigolf, but that was to be expected. The last piece, however. Sugu, everything okay? Daisho flinched as if he burned him, the little nervous chuckle escaping his mouth, alerting all three of them. Yes, I'm fine. You don't look fine. We can go elsewhere if this isn't for you. I'm sure there's other stuff to do around here. It pained him to say that, considering how much time he spent researching and planning this, but he would never push for something that caused his boyfriend pain. But Daisho just shook his head rather vehemently and squared his shoulders, putting on a brave face. It's alright. It just reminded me of something, but it's fine. It's gone. He sounded like he was trying to convince himself too, but Terushima didn't have the heart to pry. The connection of his current anxiety to his ex was as clear as day, and he definitely wasn't going to drag that up when they were supposed to have fun. And so he reached over the seat to squeeze Daisho's hand, giving him a reassuring smile. It's going to be fun, you'll see. No danger here. I know. They soon gathered by the reception desk to announce their arrival and to borrow their clubs and balls, and then they finally stood in front of the first course out of many. So, the guy said it goes from the easiest to the most difficult and ends over there at the windmill one. Sounds simple enough. Should we play in pairs or each for their own score? Let's play one-on-one first, and then if we have time, we can do pair competition. Sounds good. They all turned to Daisho, who was so far standing a little indecisively to the side. But his smile was much more natural than a while ago. I'm fine with that. Okay, then let's go. I can't wait to beat you all. Sure. We'll see about that. He gently patted the ball forward, sending it seamlessly into the hole. The game's on. Already feeling excitement pumping through his veins, Terushima took his spot at the beginning and sent his ball forward too. However, if it was because of his speed or grip, the ball swerved to the side, missing the hole by a few centimeters. Tanaka snickered next to him, hitting him in the back. You gotta work on your aim, Yuji. Shut up! You try it, then we can talk. With the confidence of an Olympic champion, Tanaka sent his ball rolling forward the most empty line, barely reaching the hole. See? Still better than you. I wouldn't be so confident, you two. Suguru has a great aim. Daisho's cheeks colored light pink, but just like Enoshita, he didn't seem to have an issue with hitting a hole-in-one. Grumbling under his breath, Terushima aimed carefully this time, knocking the ball into the hole on his second shot. Just you wait, I'm going to beat you all. Unfortunately, it really wasn't his day. Or he was just bad, but he would be caught dead before admitting it out loud. However, the score spoke volumes, and even after 9 rounds, he was still dead last. Hey, Yuji, you do know that the winner is the one who has the least points, right? Shut your trap! He pouted, but really, he couldn't be that grumpy about it. Because his boyfriends were laughing and chatting away, clearly enjoying their hangout a lot. Even Daisho relaxed eventually, keeping a steady score with just a few mistakes. But even those few smiles he cracked couldn't hide the remnants of anxiety in his eyes. Especially in moments when either of them touched him. They had always been very careful about where they laid their hands. But today, it seemed like even those few safe places weren't safe at all. It's gotta be connected to that piece of shit. What else? He knew he shouldn't pry, but seeing his loved one flinching from their touches again shattered his heart. And so he waited until Enoshita and Tanaka were fully indulged in playing and gently nudged Daisho's side. Everything okay? Huh? Oh, yes, I'm fine. He smiled, an actual smile that made his eyes sparkle. I think it was a great idea to come here. It's fun. I'm glad. But something's on your mind, isn't it? Daisho's smile fell instantly, a heavy sigh heaving his chest. Terushima squeezed his hand. Is it because of him? Unsurprisingly, Daisho nodded, taking a shaky breath. He took me to a regular golf course one day, with some of his friends. Some private club, I think. It was all normal at first, but then he said we need to take advantage of the privacy and that we are alone there. He didn't like hearing no for an answer. Terushima suppressed a gag, his stomach clenching at the image Daisho's words put into his head. He expected an answer like this, and yet it still made his blood boil. Did the others hurt you too? No, he didn't like sharing. Just told them to enjoy the show. He quickly dried the tears hanging on his lashes, forcibly taking a few deep breaths while Terushima dug around his pockets for a clear tissue. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have dragged this out when you are supposed to have fun. I am having fun. It's much better now, really. Suguru. What's wrong? But Daisho quickly waved them off, looking much more collected, although Terushima didn't miss the light tremble of his hand and voice alike. It's alright, I just recalled something. It can't get me anymore. Is it my turn already? Yeah, but you don't have to continue if you don't want to. I do. Don't worry about me, it's alright now. Giving him a smile of his own, Enoshita caressed his cheek and then stepped aside to make space at the beginning of the next little course. On their curious glances, Terushima just silently mimed later and motioned to Daisho, apparently fully focused on the game, hoping the two would understand what he meant. Past wasn't important right now. They couldn't do anything about it. But they could do something about the present. Make it enjoyable enough so that Daisho didn't have to think about the nasty parts. Well, for someone who proclaimed to beat us all, you sure gathered a lot of points. Just say it. We destroyed you. Terushima clicked his tongue, crossing his arms over his chest in defiance. You're the one to talk. You got only 10 points less than me. But I'm still 3rd place, and that's what counts. Fighting the urge to wipe that smirk from Tanaka's face, in some less than violent way of course, Terushima opted to ignoring both of them and focus on the good stuff. Like the fact that Daisho was smiling now. Terushima clearly enjoyed himself and his overall victory, and he got to spend some quality time with Tanaka again. With all of his boyfriends, really. Compared to that, even the embarrassing loss stung much less. So, what now? Should we do another round or do we get lunch? I'm for lunch. I'm starving. Honestly, me too. Suguru? I'm happy as long as we are together. Tanaka grinned at that, gently squeezing Daisho's hand before he leaned in to kiss his cheek. That's what we like to hear. Let's get some grub then. My treat this time. That Terushima loved to hear as well. He hung behind with Enoshita while Tanaka nudged Daisho to the car, a smile not leaving his face. It was a nice date. You think? Yeah, great idea. The softest kiss landed on his lips. You should do this more often. Heh, you bet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. So we are once again piecing together a little bit of the story, especially Daisho's past. And yeah, I really need to move this story forward because I do have it thought out completely, but there are some plot points that need to happen before that. So yeah, I hope I will get more into it again. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.